Sometimes I sit here in this old wooden chair right beside the window and I just watch the backyard. The same backyard I planted with my own hands more than 40 years ago. The lemon tree is still standing there, though it doesn't give as much fruit as it used to, just like me, I suppose. When I was younger, I used to dream about the day I could finally rest. I pictured it as a reward, a finish line, the moment when all the years of hard work would finally make sense. I remember thinking many times while I was working, when I retire, I'll be happy. I'll have time. I'll finally enjoy life the way it's meant to be lived. And when that day arrived, when I signed those papers, when I shook hands with coworkers for the last time, when I walked out of that building where I had spent more than half my life, I felt something strange. I felt relief, yes. But I also felt a silence I couldn't explain. Because when you spend so many years chasing the clock and suddenly the clock stops chasing you, you don't always know what to do with time. Today, I want to tell you what nobody told me about retirement, what I learned a little too late, and what might still help you. Because let me tell you something. What happened after I retired wasn't exactly what I expected. The morning I retired, I woke up earlier than usual. Funny, isn't it? I no longer had to go to work, and yet my body still followed the same schedule it had followed for decades. My wife made coffee, just like she had done every morning since the day we got married. We sat at the kitchen table, and I remember she looked at me with one of those quiet smiles, the kind that only comes from people who have walked beside you for a lifetime. That day I said goodbye to my coworkers. There were hugs, jokes, a few hidden tears, and many kind words. They gave me a watch as a gift. Life has a strange, shitty sense of humor. A watch for a man who was about to stop living by the clock. When I got home, I felt something I had never felt before. It was like the world had turned its volume down, like everything was suddenly too quiet. The first few days were pleasant. I slept a little longer, took slow walks, fixed small things around the house. I felt free, lighter, like someone had removed a heavy weight from my shoulders. But that feeling didn't last as long as I thought it would, because work wasn't just work. It was routine. It was conversation. It was purpose. It was the feeling that someone depended on you. And when all of that disappears, silence begins filling spaces you didn't even know existed. Sometimes I would sit in front of the television without really watching it, just sitting there, thinking, wondering what I was supposed to do with my days now. That's when I understood something nobody had ever explained to me. Retirement isn't just about stopping work. It's about learning how to live differently. But what surprised me the most was realizing that too much free time can also hurt. And that realization forced me to face something I had never considered before. For years, my life had been organized by schedules. Wake up, go to work, lunch break, drive home, dinner, sleep, repeat. It may sound dull, but that structure was like a compass. After retirement, days started blending together. Monday felt like Sunday. Tuesday felt like Thursday. And slowly, I stopped noticing the passing of time. I remember one particular morning I got out of bed, walked into the kitchen, and stood there by the window. I had no plans, no responsibilities, nothing urgent waiting for me. Many people would say that sounds wonderful, and maybe it is, but to me, it was unsettling. I tried filling my time with small projects, cleaning the garage, sorting through old paperwork, organizing tools I hadn't touched in years. One day I found a box of old photographs, pictures of my children when they were little, family vacations, birthday parties, moments that felt so close and yet so far away. I sat on the garage floor for hours looking at them. I remembered laughter, long road trips, small arguments, warm hugs